host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. We made it through another weekend. We made it through another week. Last week. Is that you, Coach?
That was. I've done that in a really long time.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Go over here and share this to my group.
I was trying to be very good at like sharing before I got on here, and it didn't let me.
Yeah, it's not very good.
It's not
lovely
smooth.
streaming software that we pay a lot of money for.
Yeah.
That I'm looking for another streaming software. So if y'all know of any.
Yeah, remember that one time when you went live
Shoot.
and nobody could hear you?
Nobody could hear me. I remember that time. Yeah.
That was like recent.
The buck stops here. I am officially a hunting widow. Hunting season started last weekend.
Yeah.
And so I am actually loving it. I love it when hunting season starts because I get the whole day on Saturday to myself.
Yeah, but I don't, because now I have got hunters in my backyard. They've spotted a buck and they want it.
Are they allowed to hunt in your backyard?
Well, yeah, we give them permission.
Ooh.
But I'm sad because I like my Bambis.
Yeah, well, we had a situation this year where they brought hunters into town because they were walking down Market Street.
What?
Like they own the place.
Well, technically, if there weren't any buildings and streets and cars in the way, they'd be in their home.
Well, yeah, but we're here. We are here.
We have overdeveloped.
Yeah. So look at this. Look at this right here.
I can't. Can you zoom in? Oh, did you vote today?
I voted today, and I am when I leave the voting booth, my head just walks out just a little bit taller, and I love it. I love it. They were in such a good mood there. Oh. The little ladies that help you vote.
Yeah.
They were in such a good mood, and they're like, you know what? It's just amazing to see you today, and it's just amazing. Of course, you have to be really careful what you say when you go inside the polls, you know. And I had my Make America Healthy hat on, and I had to take it off because, you know, there's rules. There's rules. You can't tell who you're going to vote for. But they're really
he's not even running for president.
I know. Exactly.
Why does it matter?
Exactly. I don't know, but they didn't actually tell me, but I thought, you know what? I just don't want to cause a scene. So everybody was so happy.
You know what though? Listen, like that movement, I don't care. Again, here we go, talk politics, but you started it.
I know.
I love when I hear people from every corner of my life say, I've just been seeing all this information about our food and how it's terrible. And I'm like, oh, that makes my heart so happy because people are awaking and seeing that, this
they want to live. They want to
live.
People want to live. And so there's no partisanship when we want to be healthy. And so what the really cool thing is, though, if you haven't voted, please go vote.
Yes.
Get your vote in. You don't know what's going to happen. I love voting on election day. I love the traditions, but I also understand that there's things that can happen. I mean, we had a hurricane, you know, and so you don't know what's going to happen. Go get your vote in, get it counted. But there was a line at the walk-in, at the early voting station. I've never seen a line.
I was trying to find mine, and I don't really know where I live.
Well, it should be at your courthouse.
Okay.
It should be at your county city building.
Okay.
I
was thinking like that makes sense to me, and I was like, well, I'm wondering if it's at the courthouse.
Yeah. It's definitely around that vicinity for sure.
I'm gonna vote early because I was looking it up, and I was like, well, maybe there's some people that are open up early, but not this early. Like you've got what, 21 more days?
19, I believe. Yeah.
Were you wrong yesterday?
I think I was wrong. I think it's 19 days until. Oh my gosh, I'm so so anxious for this to be over, so anxious to make sure our country's okay.
I advocate for anyone, and this is why we talk about it here. Just practice your right to vote.
Oh, yeah.
Whether or not you think that it's going to count or not.
Yep.
Whatever mindset you have, go do it anyway.
I send a text. I always text my children. That's just who I am. They're going to put it on my gravesite. I don't care. I've taught them how to vote. I've taught them my values. I've taught them everything. Now they're adults. They can do whatever they want. But if I find out they don't vote, nope, not going to happen in this house. Not going to happen, because I don't care who you vote for. But my motto in life, in the boy or mama bear household, is be early to church and go vote. That's the only thing my children have to do to keep me happy.
Be early to church.
Be early to church. Okay, be on time to church. Half of my children have the first motto.
Yes.
Be early to church, half hour specifically. Yes. And the other half of them are be on time to church.
Yes.
One of them is be 6 minutes late to church. I am working hard on that
purpose.
Kid. I am working hard on that kid.
On purpose.
Literally 6 minutes. Because I get a notification on my phone of who left the house, 6 minutes, 11:06 every Sunday morning.
That's on time for him. Like what?
It makes me not be able to breathe, because if we are not a half hour early.
Our father taught us that very well.
I'm
going to get the water.
I'm going to be early to my funeral. I'm just saying. Hopefully not.
No,
hopefully not.
Wait a minute, because our conversation today is leaning in towards.
It's the only time I'm going to be late in life.
How are we going to extend our lifetime?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yep, Sancy, I'm afraid I can't hide who. Some people. I don't care who you vote for. I really don't.
Yeah,
but
go ahead and vote. Put over there in the comments who you want to support. I don't care.
Who's going to dare tell us who they're voting for?
Do it.
There's no question. There's no question on this.
But then on this in the same breath that we are speaking over here in the comment area, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Tell us where you're watching from.
Yeah.
Tell us what time it is there, because it might not be the same time that we have.
Yeah. Don't hide.
You might be in California. I don't know.
We want to see you. We want to see what you have to say this morning.
Yes.
We're going to talk about a topic today that's kind of sad. It's really kind of sad. So 2 Mondays ago, we have weight loss support groups every Monday. We have an addictions group and we have a weight loss group. And last week, my cheeks were hurting because I was smiling the entire time because we had victory stories. Yesterday, I was really, really sad because there was a lot of broken hearts in group. Yeah. And I love the fact that we have a safe space in group for people to feel safe and to feel, like they can share their joys, yay, lost 80 pounds. And then last night there was a common theme. And so I thought we just carried over to our live today. And that is what happens before the diagnosis. You have a choice. You have an ultimate choice as to what happens before your doctor gives you the bad news. So we had a story last night, actually a couple of stories of people who, when you get into our space, you can't unsee what food does to you. You can't unsee that what you put in your body right now determines how long you live. So we're watching people, it's just something we do because we can't unsee what seed oils do. We can't unsee what sugar does. We can't unsee what the carbohydrates do to the body and the lives that they cut short. We can't unsee it. And so we see our family and our friends indulging and soaking in this poison. And it is really, really hard. And so we had a couple of stories last night of people who had changed their lives and literally reverse diagnosis that the doctors had given them. And then watching family members die of pancreatic cancer, be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, which is preventable. Pancreatic cancer is sugar poisons your pancreas.
Yeah.
In all of these diseases of civilization, these metabolic diseases are reversible. Most of them are reversible or preventable. And the things that we put in our body right now determine how long we're going to live.
Yeah.
And so it is heartbreaking. the heartbreaking part is, for me, being an addiction specialist, is watching people trapped. It's one thing to choose, I don't care what happens to my body. I don't care how long I live. I don't care if I see my kids. But another part of me has so much empathy for those who are addicted and who are trapped by the addiction that our food system has caused and can't escape. And they don't know that they're trapped. They don't know that they are addicted. They just are doing what all their family and friends are doing. They're just going through the drive-throughs. They're just going through, grabbing that boxed pizza. They're just going through the convenience of life, right? And we need to stop this before the diagnosis. You don't have to get that diagnosis from the doctor. You don't have to. You can decide right now, I want to live to see my grandkids. I want to live. This is way beyond weight loss. And so that was what our topic was last night. And so I just thought we'd carry on the conversation, here today, because I think so many people think that they are just succumb to the whims of their doctor, whatever doc says is, that's my prognosis, and that's not the case. So what are the things, Darcy, when you think of your clients, who maybe have gotten the diagnosis? Let's talk about type 2 diabetes. My doc says I have type 2 diabetes. I had a client message me last night who's coming into the program, and they were like, well, I've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I'm like, that's my favorite. I would rather have somebody come, talk to me about diabetes and how do we reverse this than getting 100 pounds off, because I know the 100 pounds are coming off. But we've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. What do we do? Is it too late? Is it too late after you've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, which will kill you, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? What is the first thing we do to a client? Do with a client? We don't do anything to clients. Doc says I have type 2 diabetes. Coach, is it too late for me?
No. Well, no, we get them in the program that is best for them. That's the first thing that we do. We don't just throw them into our 8-week program that you do by yourself. It's going to take a lot of support. But it's also, I'm not having a big fan of this question, but other than the fact of getting them in and started and giving them hope that there is a good future ahead if they do the things and trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of am keep going back into my own, where I did my blood panels and all that, and I can see how easily somebody could get discouraged by what the doctor's telling them. So
the
easily.
Doc has gone to school, right? He's the all-knowing, he's the authority.
Yeah.
He knows all about nutrition,
Yes.
right?
He went to school, so you've got this mindset of, oh, well, this dude's a lot smarter than me. He knows, the technical
His
words
pronouns
for
in front of his name.
Yeah,
DR.
yeah, and an MD at the end, like all those things. And so that makes you have a fear of standing up and doing your own research.
It's
So
intimidating. He's got
it
a
is
white coat on.
intimidating.
He's standing over you,
Exactly. So when people that get this diagnosis of they've got type 2 diabetes and they say, okay, let's get you on statins, that puts a fear into their heart. But then it also is like a comfort of like, oh, I have to have this. I have to have this medication to live. When in fact, you don't need to have that medication to live. You need to learn how to do lifestyle, and that will reverse it.
The medication will kill you.
The medication is just a Band-Aid, and it could kill you. There's like a lot of negative side effects from a statin that they are not letting you know, but they're so quick to jump on to talking about, let's get you on a statin because your numbers are like this.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a podcast, not a podcast. I was listening to something, I think a book. I don't know. I had so many different things I listened to. And he talks about 3 different types of people with high cholesterol numbers, and they are one guy goes to gym, he works out, he has maybe that dad bod, and he goes to work out and he has high cholesterol. You've got a guy who's had a heart attack, and has had surgery and has this high cholesterol, and then you've got this other dude, and I can't remember what this other dude was, but these 3 guys, and he's like, I can tell you that only one of those guys probably needed that medication to be on.
Yeah.
And so with that one person out of all 3 of those guys, all 3 of those guys are in fear that they're gonna die from
Mhm.
diabetes, or
Mhm.
that if they don't get on diabetic medication, then
Yeah.
they're gonna have
Yeah.
this I don't know, fear.
Yeah, yeah, that is so true. They trust the doctors. And what we have been so afraid to say for so long is that doctors make money
Yeah.
off of these drugs. They have politically lowered numbers intentionally to get pharma involved in your life and to get you hooked on these medications when all you have to do is make some physical changes in your lifestyle. All of these metabolic diseases are lifestyle based.
Yes.
Insulin resistance. Now, I had somebody come up to me the other day and say, "Oh, well, there's nothing I can do about my weight because I'm insulin resistant."
Mm,
And I
cool.
said, let's reverse the insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is based on your diet.
Yeah, it's the
It's based
root.
it's
It's
the
the root problem.
lifestyle. Yeah. You can reverse insulin resistance. And a lot of these people, now that the hormone talk, and there's some legitimacy to hormones messing you
Mhm.
up, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of people use this hormone talk as an excuse. Well,
Mhm.
I can't lose weight because of my hormones.
Yes.
Well, insulin is a hormone. You're feeding insulin all day long. You're not getting your pancreas any breath at all to breathe and to stop making insulin, which is a hormone. You're doing it to yourself. Has nothing to do with your hormones as a
Yeah.
woman or as, but we give these diseases excuses to rule our lives when we have the power to reverse it.
Yes.
And then the other pet peeve I have is, well, Monica, I tried it. I tried to reverse it and it just didn't work. Well, how long did you try it? Well, I tried it for 2 weeks.
And here's the problem with that. And this is something that all of you listeners out there and watchers, because we're not on podcast right now. All you watchers out there need to know this. Just because you get exactly what Monica just said, and you got somebody saying that, "Oh, I went carnivore for in 2 weeks. I was off my medication." Just because you
Mhm.
hear somebody out
Some
there,
people. Mhm.
yeah, that might be the case for that person, but we are not all the same.
Yeah.
So just because that might have worked for that one person, they still have a long road ahead of them
Mhm.
just because they're not taking their insulin medication or their
Mhm.
their statins or what have you.
Or they get feeling good and then they start eating crappy again. Well, their sugar
Exactly.
goes back up, right?
Yes.
You didn't
So
make the lifestyle change.
we're not the same, and
No.
some of our healing takes a lot longer. I feel
Mhm.
like I'm in year 5 and I'm still doing
You're still
healing.
healing. Yeah.
I'm still healing,
Yeah.
and I'm doing, like, the dairy-free, so it's a new
Mhm.
form of healing, which is
Mhm.
really but
Well, it takes about 18 months for insulin resistance to
yeah,
heal. Who will hang out with us for 18 months? Well, you can reverse it. You
yeah,
know, the last thing to go on me during my weight loss journey was my tire around my middle. You know you have insulin resistance by the tire around your middle, by skin tags.
yeah,
Now my skin tags fell off right away. Those
yeah,
healed right away. That's a sign of insulin resistance. So it was a sign that my body was healing, but my tire around my middle didn't go for at least 18 months. But
yeah,
people don't want to wait. They want instant results. Again, we're a drive-through society where we need to, have instant results, and if we don't have it in 2 weeks, then it must not work for me. It takes a
right.
minimum of 90 days. Now, typically our diabetes clients get off of their medication within about 6 weeks if they are committed to the lifestyle, right?
Mhm.
Um and so when I have a conversation with a client about getting off meds, I will say, have that conversation with your doc.
Yes.
Tell them you want to change your nutrition and you want to change and reverse your metabolic disease by nutrition. And if they will not work with you, you need to find a different doc because you need to know when to come off your meds. I
Yes.
can't tell you that as a coach. Coach Darcy can't tell you that.
Right.
You got to work with your doc on that. So you've got to get a doc who says, "Yeah, I am fighting for you. I want to see you off this medication. I want you out of my clinic. I want you gone." You got to find a doc like that
Yeah.
who is willing to work with you. But these diseases that we have, these metabolic diseases, are excuses. They are literal excuses for not
You
changing a lifestyle.
you mentioned about, the doctors and just a second ago, and all
Hmm.
I can think about is hearing this doctor that has met me for the first time telling me what is the, ideal diet when a doctor does not take nutrition.
Did he tell you that for real?
He literally
What
told
did he
me,
tell you to eat?
he said He said,
And
"Yeah,
why didn't
we
you take your sister with you to this doctor's appointment?
listen, I had both the boys with me in the room, and you know what it's like when you take your kids to their own
Mhm.
appointments?
Yes.
We all just had it knocked out, and we had eye appointments that day. I was not
What did he tell
ready.
you to
So
eat?
he was like, we suggest doing moderate carbs and fruits and vegetables. And then he was talking about exercise and how important that was. And I'm thinking, for one, I'm a mom and I am on the go all the time. I might not be making it in my mind like walking, like taking time out of but I do. I told him like, yeah, I exercise, at least 2 times with weightlifting, and then I do
Did
a
you tell
hit
him you have
workout.
0 carbs? What do you think about that?
Well, he didn't like it because eventually I said that, well, I basically am doing carnivore right now because I'm trying to fix my autoimmune disease.
Mhm.
And he didn't really have much to say. I'm like, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be doing this, but I'm going to be doing it long enough to heal my autoimmune disease.
Mhm.
And so he didn't really have a whole lot to say, but he's trying to tell me about nutrition and doing the standard American diet
And he's
type
never
of
taken
lifestyle,
nutrition in
and he's
college.
never taken nutrition in college except for an hour maybe, but
Mhm.
he's reading it to me of what is ideal, and
Mhm.
I won't say what else I did, but other than that, like, I can understand if
Oh,
somebody does not understand
yeah.
that your body can heal itself, and
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 maybe
talking
these
about my
doctors haven't
clients,
seen it.
and
Maybe
maybe
they haven't
not.
seen it.
But I'm definitely gonna make a movement in my office that I'm going
Mhm.
to, because of all the blood tests that I had taken, and basically I'm healthy. Let's just say that. I'm not gonna
Basically,
let
yeah.
basically, but he's trying to put me on statins because of my LDL numbers, the total.
And he was shocked. You were telling me he was shocked when you asked him to divide those
Well,
HDL numbers,
yeah.
the LDL
He's like,
numbers up
"No,
to
no,
A and
he
B.
wasn't." Well, he kinda was, but then
Like, how'd you know that?
the lady that was drawing my blood was like, "Oh, this is like I've never done this one before." I'm like,
Wow.
"Why have you not ever had this one done before? Like, what is
Wow.
this?" So,
Because
it's
he's
not a
wanting to put you on a statin because of your LDL numbers. And
yeah,
LDL numbers have nothing to do with your metabolic health. Nothing to
right,
do.
right. So, my triglycerides
Mm.
are fantastic. Well, let's just say that. Like, when we're
What was
gonna
it?
look at
What
that,
was it? Like in the
47,
40s?
47,
Yeah,
my
and your
triglycerides.
HDL was amazing.
Yeah.
You
So,
are you are metabolically healthy when it comes to when you're going to have a heart attack. You were at
yes, I
0.74,
will
which is
tell
like,
him.
whoops, is that a HIPAA violation there?
I don't
I
know.
just gave
I don't
everybody
know.
your numbers.
No, but when
Incredible
I
numbers.
when I come back to him, I want him and take note because this is what we learned from Dr. Barry.
Mhm.
Just when you are set on something like against being on a statin and they keep
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, I want you on a statin."
Right.
Have them right for their own safety purposes and
Mhm.
their own,
Yes.
their own I'm not going to get sued.
Mhm.
um, Let it be known on the top of my chart that I will not ever be on a statin, period.
Mhm. Right.
Like, just then it's on your chart and they won't ask you about it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they don't ask you about it. But just I so you talk about the clients. I have, when clients are with me for a while and then they too go and get their blood drawn and then they get this scare, they automatically like, "Oh, what do I do now?" I'm like, "You keep doing what you're doing."
Mhm.
You can either do what I was doing too, where I'm researching more about what these numbers mean and that
Mhm.
these ratios are just exactly that. They're ratios that either doctors made an average of and
Mhm.
saying that this is where it seems like I want people to be, or like they go based on a certain average. I think. What is that another way that they get the ratio? So it's
Yeah, you
only a
divide
handful
your
of people.
triglycerides by HDL, to find your heart health, and then
Well,
there's
I was
another
talking
formula
about
as well.
how they come up with the average,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's not based on it's not full. I just read that this morning. But
Yeah.
anyway, like, it's do your research on that and
You don't
don't
have to
panic.
get these diseases.
No.
You don't have to get cancers it is so hard when we see family members diagnosed with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and the doc says, if your sugar falls, just go eat just go eat a cookie. Just go eat this. Go control your sugars with with sugar. If you change your lifestyle now, you don't even have to get that diagnosis. Not saying that you're not going to get one. We're not doctors. We don't play one on the
No,
internet. We do, however,
I have a big
see
opinion.
we do have a lot of opinions, and we have seen firsthand what happens
Yes.
when people decide to change their lifestyle. What you put in your body, think about what you're going to have for lunch today. Think about what you're going to have for supper. Think about which drive-through you're driving through on the way home because you're too tired to come home and cook. What you put in your body today determines how long you will live. If that's the case, how long do you think you're going to live? Based on what you're eating now, based on what you put. And I'm not, I'm talking about being consistent. A
Mhm.
lot of people are
Yeah.
like, I don't eat a lot of sugar, but they stuff the bread down themselves. They stuff the fast food. They stuff the seed oils down. We're talking about doing this thing the right way, right?
Yes.
Based on what you're eating now, based on your food choices, based on what is put in front of you in this office meeting, it's time for you to stand up and say, no, 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 that's not going to go in my body. You're not wrong, and you're not weird for saying that. Sorry, I'm not going to participate in that office party because what you put in your body determines how long you're going to live. Is what you're putting in your body now going to make you live till 100, or are you on a path to get a call from the doctor saying, "I am so sorry to tell you you have cancer."
Mm.
Now your doctor doesn't care about that diagnosis, and let me
They might.
they care,
They
but
care.
you are money to that doctor.
Yeah.
When you get that diagnosis, do you know what that means to that doctor? In his pocketbook, you are going to depend on him for a long time
Yes.
for the chemo, for the surgeries, for the radiation, all of those things. A cancer diagnosis is a lot of money for a doctor.
Mhm.
Now, yeah, they do care about you, right?
They do.
Long term, you made a lot of money for that doc
Yeah.
because you're going to need a lot of treatment. So why are we doing this? Why are we not going to start the conversation of, I think I'm going to try to prevent that diagnosis from the doctor?
Mhm. People like investing. Most people like to invest, especially their money in like
Mhm.
stock markets.
Mhm.
They like to invest their maybe in a house,
Mhm.
so because they know that they're gonna possibly get a good return,
Mhm.
and we don't do that for
We don't
our
do
own
it for
health.
health. No, we don't.
That I'm quoting a Bible verse.
Mhm.
The greatest commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself.
As
But if you
yourself.
don't love yourself enough, then how much are you going to love your neighbor?
Mhm.
Like it's like you investing in yourself totally matters, because
Mhm.
some people are, they eat what they want. They're like, what does it matter? I'm eating what I want, and I'm enjoying what I'm eating, and I'm enjoying life to the point where that food becomes their best friend.
Yep.
And when that best friend decides to slowly to start destroying their body because of, depending on it, when they're on their deathbed, they're like, whoa, that wasn't a very great friend.
Whoa.
First of all.
Yeah.
But
I
like
could have prevented
you
this.
could have prevented that by not depending on that best friend of
Right.
food. Uh, but we have to be able to say, I am worth
Mhm.
not eating this crap and putting it in my body.
Mhm.
Maybe it's not for me. Maybe it is for my children. Maybe it's for my grandchildren. But people do depend on you,
Mhm.
and you need to invest in yourself. So putting that investment in yourself is going to be so worth it in the end.
And it's hard. There are things I will never pick up a donut again. Never. Number one, I'm a food addict, and that would lead to a 30-pound sugar binge. But I understand what that donut will do to my body. Am I sad about it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sad about the fact that I will never have a donut again. I will never have sugar. I will never put some of those things in my body again. Was that an adjustment for me to make in my lifestyle? Absolutely. The really cool trait of that was, number one, we eat whole foods that are amazingly good.
Mhm.
Okay. We eat delicious food. We've gotten rid of the bad stuff. That was delicious. It was a sad parting for us, but there are other things that we have substituted in its place. We've learned to cook just a little bit different. So we've been able to replace most of those foods that we have cut out of our lifestyle. But the cool trade of when you decide, even if you go carnivore and say, no more sugar for me for the rest of my life, no more sweeteners, that kind of thing. By the way, in our carnivore group, y'all are talking about sweeteners. Just saying, no, 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 no. Public
Sorry.
announcement. No, no, no. So the cool trait about that is the mental health that you get from getting rid of the poison in your brain and giving your brain sugar jolts is the anxiety and the depression leaves and the foggy brain leaves. And so the cool trait of it is you get great mental health. And yeah, well, we've said goodbye to some of those really addictive foods and those really yummy foods. However, the return that we've gotten is the mental health. I am living with joy for the first time in my life. There's no donuts in my life, but there's joy in my life for the first time. I feel amazing. This morning I was at my workout station and we were doing I think we call them deadlifts, or we were doing squats with the bar over our shoulder. And every round of 25 we had to add 10 pounds. And so I was up to 65 pounds on my shoulders, and I was doing the squats, and my trainer walked by and he says, "Do you know you carried that on your body for all of these years?" I could barely squat. I could barely,
Right.
it was heavy. That 65 pounds was really, really heavy.
But you carried more than that.
I carried twice that amount.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know how.
Yeah.
I could not hardly squat with that 65 pounds, and I lost 130.
Yeah.
The trade-off is irreplaceable.
Yeah. I would like, because you're talking about the joy that you got. I want to talk about how the investment in living this lifestyle, giving up all of the things that I absolutely was addicted to and loved and desired, helped me in my mental clarity and remembering things. I was terrible student in college, throughout my whole schooling. Terrible student because I could not retain what I learned. I could listen to somebody and act like I was listening. I was very engaging, but I had no idea what they were saying. I was like in another world. I wasn't focused. I wouldn't be able to. Okay, so since I've been getting into my labs, I have to have an extra code that pops up at the top of your phone to then plug that verification number in there. And I'm able to memorize that verification number and type it in there and remember it. And that might sound like not a big deal.
Yeah.
But a lot of us have to go back, exit out of that to go then to the text message to then remember the next number. I can remember these numbers and write them in. Like that has never in my life been the case. So people are trying to fill their brains with all these things. Oh, this is going to improve my memory and this is going to help my brain. Getting your act together in your food department is going to help the brain and the memorization
if
and
you
the
realize
mental clarity.
How much sugar, when we say sugar, we're talking about the carbs.
Yes.
Sugar impacts every portion of your body. I read a statistic, or no, I listened to it from Callie. Callie or Casey Means. I don't know why their mother did that to them. I don't know. Remember,
she was a sweet
which
lady,
one
apparently.
is which one, Callie or Casey, but it was the girl. And she was saying 25%
that
of
would be
men.
Casey.
Was it? Thank you.
It's Casey.
Thank you. I want to give her credit where credit is due.
Casey Means.
Can you imagine getting those two getting in trouble when they were kids and trying to yell at them? Callie, Casey. Oh, goodness. That mother. Anyway, she said 25% of men under the age of 40 have erectile dysfunction. That is based on sugar.
Oh,
sugar causes erectile dysfunction.
And another one is when you get put on high cholesterol medication. That also lowers your testosterone.
Yeah.
Which then doesn't work in that department.
Exactly.
So, just so you know,
it's
if you're on a cholesterol medication,
sugar.
Yes.
Caused by sugar. That should not be happening right now. Men under 40, that should not be happening.
Nope.
Sugar is a disease.
Yes.
And you've got to get a hold of it before the diagnosis. Sugar is what is causing the diagnosis. Again, sugar is carbs. Anything white. Anything white. It is the seed oils. It is all of that. You can stop the disease before it gets to you.
Yes.
And that's our passion today. That's our life today. That is what is making us fired up as coaches, because we understand and we can't unsee healing. We can't
Mhm.
unsee it. And so when we see our family and friends diagnosed with cancer or diabetes or PCOS, you don't have to live with PCOS, sister. You do not have to live with
Nope.
it. You
Nope.
can reverse it. You are choosing to keep these diseases. When you continue to put poison in your body, you're choosing to keep the diseases. It is a choice. Now, are you struggling with addiction? Get help for it. Get help for addiction. You don't
Yeah.
have to struggle. You don't have to. You can change the trajectory of your life if you want to. Problem
Yeah.
is you have to want to. And going with our sad our sad conversation we had last night, there's nothing that we can do. There's nothing that we as people who know the truth can do to help those people until they're ready.
Right.
Until they're like, because there's so many people that just depend on the doctors throwing them pills. That's what they're willing to sit in. And there's nothing that we can do until they say, "Hey, I see that you're living your life differently. I see that you're healthy. Can you help me?"
And
That's all we can do.
unfortunately, for some of you out there that have decided to change your life, you may be living with somebody
Yes.
that chooses not to do that and chooses to be like, well, that is
Mhm.
dumb. That's just another diet that you're on. I'm
Mhm.
not following suit on this one because I
Right.
love my junk food too much. I love
Yeah.
my nighttime snack as I watch TV at night.
Mhm.
I'm not willing to give that up. And
Yeah.
you cannot force
You
them.
can't.
You just plant
It's
seeds.
hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, it is.
When I was going through my health journey, I watched my husband watch me. And I watched him get his blood pressure checked, and that scared him a lot. And he's like, "Okay, I'm watching you get better. I'm watching you heal your body. Maybe I should do it too." I think it's just cuz he didn't want me to get another husband, cuz I think that's why he's like, "Oh crap."
You know,
I better stick around for a while. And I'm glad he did, because I
yeah,
I wouldn't do that again if it was the last thing I ever did. My gosh. You watch
right.
these dating people now? What is wrong with these people? I cannot
I don't
imagine.
I
I
don't
could not imagine
know.
being in the dating field right now. There's no
No, I
way.
feel sorry, and I don't feel sorry because maybe some people aren't enjoying it, but I know there's a lot of people that aren't
Oh,
enjoying it,
yeah.
and, that's why they become cat ladies or men because they realize that this world is just crazy,
Ooh.
and we're not gonna be stuck with people that we
We picked
really
up
don't
the
wanna be with.
phone when I was dating. We picked up the phone. We passed notes. We like wrote letters.
There's
Can you
and
imagine?
the dangers that you as a girl, you have
You
to be
all.
leery about.
Phew. Side
Yeah,
conversation on
and that
that.
was right.
So Brian, all that said is Brian decided, hey, I want to live. And he
Mhm.
reversed his blood pressure issue. He reversed his disease. And it was exciting to watch. So
Yeah,
it is contagious. Health is contagious.
it really is.
And you can't help but shout it from the mountains when you see somebody headed towards death and you see them headed towards that diagnosis. I think it is our responsibility to speak up. Now,
Right.
would someone have been able to save my life? I don't know. I always tease you sisters that says, "Why didn't you tell me I was obese? Why didn't you tell me
You're kinda scary
and
at
there's
times.
no way. Yeah, I can't imagine anybody telling me that. It would have
Remember
crushed me.
remember that time you kind of share about it a lot, about when you're in the politic world and that
Uh-huh.
you can, like, take men down to their
By their
knees and,
knees.
like,
Mhm.
and chop them in half, like,
Mhm.
because you
Mhm.
learned how to be cruel and mean, like,
Mhm.
that I mean, that wasn't just for those politician
It's
guys.
for my sisters too. Yeah.
That's for
Yeah.
anyone. So,
Well, and there's so many diets out there now.
yeah,
I don't know if I would have been receptive. If I would have been like, well, I've tried every diet in the book. I've already tried it. I mean, I even did laxatives. I did it
yeah,
all,
yeah,
so I can't see that I would have taken the advice. And that's really sad. It's really sad. So
yeah.
sometimes you just have to live your life. You have to be the example that you want your family
You
members to
had
be.
somebody planting a seed in you and you didn't
Mhm.
know it, and that
Right.
to me shows that
Right.
the importance of being an advocate of planting seeds. Like you
Yeah.
talk about last night we talked about the circle of control and you just
Yeah.
mentioned that where
Yeah.
there's certain things that you just can't control, but one thing you
Right.
can control is what you put out.
Right.
How you receive people and how what you
Mhm.
give out and just be planters of seeds
Yeah.
and eventually it might not be you that
Yeah.
helps grow that. Usually it's God that helps
Mhm.
grow that seed, but there might be somebody else that is also
Yeah.
having the scales taken off their eyes that maybe connects better with
Mhm.
this person and
Well, and
understands them. So
I
that
don't
would be the person that maybe help watering their
yeah,
seed a little bit.
yeah. I don't know. When we talk about diseases, the thing that was wrestling and the thing that tore me apart was my weight because I was 272 pounds and I hated who I was. And the only thing that drove me to change was my weight. I was already having those floaters in my eyes because my blood pressure was so high. I was already having those floaters in my eyes and I had vision issues. That was pre-diabetic signs. That didn't move me.
Right.
Didn't move me at all. I was not scared because diabetes, type 2 diabetes didn't mean anything to me. I was not moved by a diagnosis. To me, a diagnosis meant nothing. It was my obesity that moved me.
Hmm.
And I now that I'm on this side of things, it is the disease that should move us, not obesity.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to change that conversation or how to get people to feel that.
Yeah.
The disease is the scary part.
It
Uh,
is. And can I speak into that? Because
yeah.
this is something I've been recently battling with and trying to figure and understand. Because we talk a lot about genetics and
Mhm.
how genetically we have obesity in our family, or we have cancer, or we have
Mhm.
heart disease, all these things. And I was thinking, I'm able to look at patterns because I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at the fact that I have psoriasis, and it's as
Mhm.
simple as psoriasis, but it's still considered as a disease, an autoimmune disease.
Mhm.
So in my head, I'm processing and I'm learning about what psoriasis does and why it happens. What can be the fixer of it? If there is something that I can do to be proactive, so
Mhm.
that there's not the flare ups. There's not the just. It's whoever has psoriasis on the scalp. You understand what I'm going through.
Mhm.
Um, but I know that my dad also, I'm not calling you out, dad. Sorry, this is HIPAA, but you're like you're related in this. So if he's probably not even gonna watch it. But my dad, I remember him battling through it. And I know that genetically, that's probably where I got it from, is from my dad's side, because he's got the psoriasis on the scalp. And I just remember battling through it, but he has short
Mhm.
hair and able to like comb it out and be like, oh, I'm good.
Mhm.
Um, but then I'm like, down the line, my dad has been diagnosed with leukemia.
Mhm.
And so I'm thinking, genetically, I know that these cancers could possibly be passed down. Is this a sign? Because knowing
Mhm.
what is happening to my scalp is basically, I am overproducing cells
Mhm.
because something inside me is fighting off this infection, this disease, and is overproducing cells on my scalp, which is the buildup. That is kind of what CLL, if I'm understanding right, kind of does, is where it's overproducing white blood cells.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking, like, okay, like in my head, this is just me discovering, like,
Mhm.
genetically,
Right.
and we're talking about investing. So this is
Yeah.
investment. So I'm seeing what is going on in my dad's world, and that keto has been done wonders for him.
Mhm.
Also, deworming has also done wonders for him.
Mhm.
But just the fact that he is on an improvement, his numbers are great, but I'm looking at my future. If I were not to take care of myself now,
Mhm.
that could be
Yeah.
my future.
Yeah.
That's a possibility of, yeah, genetically, we could have leukemia in our family. Like, and
Mhm.
I could be not taking care of myself, not
Mhm.
trying to figure out just a simple buildup in my scalp, or even on the skin. If you have skin psoriasis, that's still an autoimmune disease. Like, looking at your family history and taking those genes and saying, oh, not playing the, oh, I'm gonna get this
Russian
anyway.
Russian roulette.
Right, yeah, you're not
Yeah.
playing, it's a 50-50. No, you can prevent this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is kind of my end goal,
Yeah.
and I'm working on the systems right now to get to the end goal,
Yep.
so that I do not have to go through
Yeah.
what my dad is going through right now.
Mhm. And
And
that's called empowering yourself.
yeah.
If we do anything in this world, it is to bring empowerment to people. You can handle this yourself. Don't give away your health to somebody else. Take it and take it into your own hands
Yeah.
and put a stop to that familial, cycle that we've had for these years that have been brought on by our food system. So I hope that people are encouraged today, and I hope they get mad. I hope they get mad and they empower themselves to change their lifestyle.
Yeah.
You change your lifestyle, you'll change your future.
Right.
That's a tweet right there.
Also, disclaimer, those were just my random thoughts just now, and I've not really ever said all of that until right now.
We won't tell anybody. We will not tell anybody. It'll be a secret in this live, complete secret. Sorry, Dad, we just threw you under the bus.
Sorry, but so that's what it is. That's my data collecting brain happening right now.
Yeah.
But you forgot to, before you're letting us go, you forgot to talk about our releasing podcast.
It's a really cool one today. We've never done this one before. We have got our first client testimony. Stephanie is being highlighted this week. Yes. And so head over to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness, to our podcast and grab testimonies, because Stephanie is one. Well, she's going to coach for me. I think I told her one time, you're going to come back and you're going to coach for me one day. You're going to change lives. There's two of them that I have my eyes on right now that are going to be life changers. They don't give up. They don't fall prey to the scams of marketing. They just do the things. And so go over to Beyond the Scale. Make sure you grab the podcast today. Stephanie's testimony is amazing. So we're here every Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Some shows we don't get fired up, and then some we do.
This one I wasn't sure where it was going to go.
You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. Oh gosh, some of our lives can be complete flops, and then you go to our podcast, you find the professional. Have we ever gotten on our soapbox on a podcast before? We might have.
Girl, have you listened to our podcast?
I keep it under my desk. Yeah.
You don't just you keep it on your desk, not under it. Let's just be honest here.
Everybody, go to your local polling station. Go vote.
Yes.
That's our push for the day. Go vote. You will walk out of there with your head held just a little bit higher, and go do it.
Yeah, just don't hold your breath.
Don't hold your breath.
Because we don't know how this is going to go.
You were teaching a lesson last night about holding your breath for 20 minutes.
I did.
Oh, gosh, that was funny. All right, y'all, you are so loved. If you need help, if you are frustrated, if you struggle with food addiction, if you are struggled in the trap that one out of three of us struggle with, being addicted to this food, to convenience, if you are struggling with your weight loss, if you're struggling with reversing these diseases, you say we can do this, but we don't know how, please contact us, kmhealthcoaching.org. Go find your coach, go set up a meeting with her. She will walk you through the steps of what you need to do to get your health back. You don't have to accept a diagnosis from the doctor. You can get mad and you can take your health into your own hands, and you can prevent this stuff. As much as your power allows you to, you can do this. You got to want to.
Yeah. We
can't want this more than our clients. I sent about 3 messages to clients yesterday saying, you know what? I can only do so much. You actually have to want this. And if you don't want it, call me when you do. That's what I had to send, because we can't want it more than you.
Yeah, it happens more than we want.
We want to want it more than you. But when you give up on yourself, there's nothing we can do. We can believe in you, but you have to believe in yourself enough to say, I'm willing to do the hard things. You're not willing to do the hard things, it won't work. All right, Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. Let us know how we can help you. I'm pulling up the closing scene here. Any final closing thoughts before we say goodbye?
Oh, no, I have none. Okay. So I just going to awkwardly stand and stare at you.
Yeah. You guys are loved. Please contact us if you need anything. Yes. We will see you next Tuesday morning.
Bye.
Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And If you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start of something great.